Wow.
It's been a long run. Hello, Peter. How are you? I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah.
That's always the first things what we guys be doing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the fourth chapter of the Beam Cafe. We're going to completely different planet right now for this season. So we will try just to go completely on the innovation side. We will see, how it will go. But thank you very much, all of you, for the feedback for the last 3 seasons. It took us a little bit more time just to get after vacation, but I think we're getting in. Today we will have a special guest, but we will just talk in a second. Enrique, how was everything? How is everything for the Beam? Are you just going forward? We just have Beam across all of Europe, everywhere right now?
Yeah, totally. I dream about Beam. I eat Beam, and I sleep with Beam as well.
Okay, well, I never thought about this one. So what we will be doing today? Tell me, what are the topics?
So yeah, if you remember, when we were closing the last season, we discussed about the opening with this one. We'll be talking about this new contact and companies. They are doing innovation and technology in construction industry. And for that, we wanted to kick it off with 2 very special guests coming from Cemex Ventures, that they are going to help us to understand what are their companies doing and why are they so important to play the role on the new construction era that already started, is going to start, or is starting, depending on your perspective. So let's welcome them on board. Ibon and Mateo of Cemex Ventures. I'm going to just welcome them in. Hello, guys, and welcome to the Beam Cafe finally.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. Just keep relaxed and be yourself. I think this is the biggest advice after the 4th season of Beam Cafe. If something will go baloney, don't worry. It's just if you will lose the connections, everything, the people are just used to the all of these webinars like that, so it should be okay. No panic. Let's just go and focus on the things which is the most important for us. So really the construction, the innovation in the construction industry. The theme which we would like to go for this season is really the innovation, and you can hear it on the market. We talk about innovation in all of industries. Construction is just like a little bit behind all of it, right? So that's what we would like to go for today. Do you want to just talk 2 seconds about the Cemex venture? Just to introduce the company a little bit, please.
Yeah, sure. So thank you and for having us here. It's an honor. Just very briefly on Cemex Ventures, but we are the open innovation arm of Cemex. Cemex is one of the largest building material producers in the world, doing concrete, aggregates, ready mix, and urbanization solutions, which is another way of saying we have a business of waste management and other businesses. And what does open innovation mean? So we as Cemex Ventures do different activities in open innovation, so that will explain what open innovation is. So that means we collaborate with third parties for innovation. So we bring startups, institutions, universities. We bring that all together to try to drive innovation. We know how complex it is in construction to drive innovation, so we have to kind of bring everyone on board to do that, right? And that means we do different activities. So we're venture, we do venture capital. We invest in startups to support them. We also do venture client. We have an acceleration program to support companies doing a pilot with Cemex to demonstrate their technology and gain a new customer. We also have a venture building unit, which is building new businesses also from within, from people from Cemex. So ideas that come from Cemex, that we build them out with entrepreneurs, with partners as well. So it's not just us. And then we have also here within Cemex Ventures, we also have the Smart Innovation Unit, which is monitoring all the different innovation activities that are happening within Cemex. So we are trying to create that map so that we identify and that we scale technology in construction as fast and as best as possible.
Very good. So this is really good, because this is where we would like to go for, because I think you will keep the keys for us to understand how we can just go faster with the transformation of the construction industry, because I trust your knowledge about the industry, but I also trust your knowledge about how you're investing in the startups, which can make really the change of the industry. So this is great. Ibon, and for your perspective, anything what you would like to add about the Cemex Ventures? Anything in your perspective?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be
Pleasure
here.
to have you guys.
Yeah, and yeah, as Mateo said, we started in early 2017, and since then we have evolved from the pure investment activity to different portfolio of activities. So we are going to explain the few of them, and we would like to ease or to make the audience understand why it's so important or key to the context and system and construction industry, these sort of activities to bring some sort of disruption and innovation to the industry.
Very good.
So I hear the most repeated word after your presentation: innovation. This is what we're going to tackle as the first block of the interview. When I think about construction industry and you add the word innovation, then my first question is, how come you guys fight all those barriers of advancing and being innovative in construction? Because there is a tendency of not liking to do good new things, right, with technology and so on. So what are those barriers? And then the second part of the question also will be, how do you face them to be innovative in construction industry?
Yeah, so it's a good question, and that's obviously what we face every day, right? But it's a challenge, and you have to first understand why it's so difficult, right? To kind of that barriers or resistance that you face today, and we have to have that very clear every day, just to try to avoid that, right? So we're a project-based industry. We know that it's very tough because time is of the essence, and it's also a lot of variability. So with the partners, with the projects are completely different. The partners, so all the contractors, subcontractors, it varies a lot. The conditions are different, and so on. So that makes it very difficult, especially the time constraint, right? It's not like you have a lot of time to be testing a lot of different technologies. It has to work from the get-go. It's a fragmented industry, like I said. So there's a lot of players involved in the project. So it is very complex. Also technology, because technology, one of the big things about technology is collaboration, right? And it's difficult to have everyone aligned and understanding all the different benefits of the different solutions.
Sorry, Mateo. So how are you just doing this? So you just pushing through your ideas, the innovation. How you try just to attack the market? You have some startups, you have some investments, you have some super technology, and you are responsible for it. So how you try to push this to the market? How are you just converting this? What are the main ideas to do this?
Yeah, so the way we work a lot with startups, right? So obviously we've gone through different go-to-market strategies with the different companies, right? But in the end, kind of my summary is in construction, it's finding the right people within the businesses. So very clearly identifying who's your target person within the company, and not just the target person, but also kind of the personality, right? It has to be someone that is willing and able to test different solutions.
Okay.
Then I think it's very important to also have a very deep understanding and respect the pain points and the processes within the companies, right? That's something how you have to address the market is being very humble and trying to understand first and listen to their pain points, because those little details, it's what makes the difference. The solutions also need to be quick to implement. So as I said, kind of time is of the essence in the projects, and kind of people can't spend a lot of time in testing something and kind of training people and so on. It has to be very focused on execution. Also, the solutions need to be very, very flexible. And kind of all those kind of, I always say kind of 80-20, right? 80% is probably standardized, but you need that extra touch of kind of customizing the solutions to the customers. And also you need to show a very quick return on investment on if you're adopting the technology, the return has to be very quick. So actually in a project, you can show that there is a return.
Okay, so this is what you're this is what you, Mateo, are really talking about. It's just that's when I just try to synthesize it. I think you did it. What we are doing for really normal, also different industries which are much advanced. So really just making sure that we have the buy-in from the right people and who can make a decision. So really the stakeholders who can drive the change. The second, I think, really identify the key pain point within the industry and within the production, within the company. And then really attacking the ROI, right? So just return on investment need to really be there to make sure that we can convince. So, okay, so we are in the classics. There is nothing for now. We are nothing special in terms of the way how we attacking the construction industry. So that's really convincing because I think, you know, the others went through this. So we have nothing to be scared of. Why this is taking so long time, by the way? Why this construction is so slow?
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry to putting you on the spot on this. Sorry.
You got the tough one to answer, Ibon. Sorry.
Ibon, it's for you.
I'm prepared for that. Another key element here is a very simple one, but it's the mindset of the industry and the people that is working in the industry. And in some cases, as Mateo said, it's a very fragmented silos and very quite stuck in those silos, and in most of the cases or is not always open to adopt those, for example, innovative technologies or solutions because they have been doing the different stuff in the same very way for the last 50, 60 years. So I would highlight at this point the willingness to, or the openness to adopt, or at least to hear that there are different solutions, technologies that could ease the daily operations, daily stuff. So I think that is one of the most barriers, or the things that are stopping this adoption.
So taking Mateo said, also identifying the right people. So because I guess as much as you can see potential growth or improvement on this, let's call it company, project, or sector inside the construction industry, you need also to know that the person is willing to, right? Because even though they have all the ingredients to make the recipe, if the person doesn't want to cook, they will never cook that. I agree with that. So I summarize, correct me if I'm mistaken for that. And one question to any of you, just pick the one the answer, who answers. But to close this chapter of innovation, you mentioned this technique practice about innovative new trends that you guys are implementing. Can you name it, one of them? Some of them to know what is you guys talking about, to specific cases, specific practices you are using.
Yeah, so we the way we do this, we define 4 focus areas where we're putting most of our effort in. So and it's different. You'll see it's there's a lot of kind of diversity in the different areas that we're tackling, right? So a big focus for us is on the first area is green construction. So obviously we know it's a big trend. It's something that it's our responsibility as part of the industry to improve. And I mean, 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions come from our industry, and we need to tackle that, right? So it's our responsibility. So we're very focused on that, doing carbon capture, utilization, and storage, looking at different technologies in that area and working together with them. We're also looking at alternative fuels, like for example, hydrogen is a good example of a technology that is more sustainable. But we're also doing waste to energy solutions, so how to use the waste to create energy, or even waste as an input stream of materials for our industry. So that's something that is very big. So everything with circular economies is very important. From waste identification to marketplaces of waste is gaining in importance from our view. But there's other areas, for example, supply chain has been, we're looking at solutions and technologies in supply chain from the very beginning of Cemex Ventures, because we know how inefficient it can be. And then that's why we're looking at technologies and even on how you're designing buildings and how you're taking into account materials, because that's when the chain starts, right? And then obviously we're looking at estimating tools, at procurement tools, logistics and delivery management, because obviously there is a lot of delays. And so materials is 40 to 60% of cost of projects, depending on the type of project. And most depends on the project, but a lot of delays come from the supply chain, right? So there's always, we always know kind of from even from personal cases or kind of in large construction projects, there's always delays with materials.
Okay.
That's the second. Third area that we're looking at is enhanced productivity. So everything, especially kind of diverse technologies focused on the design and execution of projects, like data collection, collaboration, coordination, and communication, which is key in those phases on design execution. And the last area is the future of construction. So it's new methodologies of or disruptive technologies like 3D printing, modular construction, or robotics. That's the way.
All right. So when you go through all of this list, I can see that there are some really the industry which kill your business, right? So just like when you look at the green construction or some modern engineering, there is a big potential that the big company which you are part of it will just start to slowing down. Is it any risk for you guys that you will just shut down your own company at the end? Difficult question, huh? Okay, don't worry. So let's go for the next one.
No. Kind of very briefly. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of industries have been disrupted by innovation.
Correct.
I think one of the main reasons to innovate is obviously you wanna be at the forefront and you don't wanna be left behind, right? That's innovation. I mean, that's in our daily lives, but also kind of in business life, it's important kind of to innovate and continue improving, right? That you have to have that ambition of continue improving, and that's it.
Okay.
And obviously there is always a fear of, hey, will this disrupt my business? Depends on the business, but yeah, we've seen other examples in other industries, so at least we should be aware.
I guess it's also taking the role you guys have of fostering startups for innovation and so on. Put you in front of line, so at least you can see the tsunami coming first, no? that should be so strategically seen. If we are fostering innovation, if we are pushing it, we can adapt it earlier, no?
So it's very good. In fact, Mateo, even I don't know who one of two of you can be the future CEO of the Cemex Global, which will be a completely different company in 25 years from now. So this is really kind of like, it can be futuristic interview, guys. So it depends really how you really put the bets going for these areas which you talk about, the investment, innovation, etc. Nobody knows. Maybe one of you will be just heading the completely different organization. And of course, thanks to our interview today, that's also one of the things.
One of the things I always say, kind of, it's interesting you say that. It's a great ambition, but a lot of people are kind of from the business, kind of even from strategy or planning, or come to us and say, hey, what's happening? What's the next big thing, right? So that's something, and I always say, kind of, we as Cemex Ventures, we focus on early stage companies, right? So I always say, kind of, the future of construction is now. It's happening already, right? It's still early stage. So don't kind of underestimate kind of the power of those companies, because they are going to be the next big thing. It exists already today.
It's fantastic, Mateo, because you really did a very good transition to the next sections of really what we would like to go for. And I think we did this by purpose as well. But when you look at it, what are the key trends Cemex Ventures observing in the capital investment in the market, in the construction sector? What are the parts which we can share with us?
Yeah, here, well, the starting point is that Cemex Ventures is responsible of being the eyes of Cemex outside. We are trying to identify which are the key trends or technologies available in the market, and we are also responsible for bringing those trends to the house. So we are not here only for the pure material side of the value chain, but also we are trying to cover the whole construction value chain. So in that process or value chain,
Okay.
we are seeing different technologies. For example, we all know that, for example, almost 40% of CO2 emissions are coming from the global CO2 emissions are coming from the construction industry. And disclosing a little bit further, 8% of those CO2 emissions are coming only for the concrete industry. So we must have some sort of responsibility in that aspect. So, for example, these all net zero strategies and the whole decarbonization of the industry, it's key for us, but also for the construction industry.
Yeah, but I think this it's great to hear this, Ibon. And but when I think about it, you have these planes which flying, which you need to pay like extra 200 euros if you wish to go to US, to pay extra to protect the environment for 200 euros. And I'm not really sure if it really works. It's just the best way is stop flying, right? So just then you will stop really just bringing the emission into the globe. But so we cannot stop the construction. We cannot stop traveling we can still. But okay, we cannot stop the construction. We have a lot of people. The population is growing. How come you wish to just emit less CO2? Really? I just don't believe it. I'm just trying to help me with this. Again, sorry guys. I told you it will be difficult question. Sorry, just.
No, not at all. As you said, we cannot stop traveling. We cannot stop the construction industry. We need to adopt different ways of making construction happen. For example, we have a clear commitment for capturing CO2, not only capturing, but also storing it and also using them in, for example, new sort of materials. Also, we have there is a clear commitment for reducing new or first life materials and jumping more into second life materials. For example, these all circular business models, not only for construction but also for municipal and industrial waste. We do have some internal initiatives to adopt or to use municipal waste, sort them, and taking benefit from them, and for example reintroducing as alternative fuels or substitution of fossil fuels as well. So there are a lot of initiatives that we can implement in our daily stuff. For example, another hot topic is the use or the decrease of fresh water. We need to start mitigating the massive consumption of water, and particularly in our case, by 2030 or even before, the vast majority or significant part of our manufacturing plants would be under water-stressed geographies, and same trends are happening in the whole construction value chain. So we are also trying to bring in-house to bring to the house, water-focused technology, just to create or to use new sources.
Yeah, no, it's very nice. It's very good, because what you're telling me right now, what you're telling us, is just not about only the zero net emission, but also just all of the other parts related to the water management, energy management, which are, I think, which is really key, crucial for bringing, Earth into the balance, which I think we lost it for the couple of last years. So it's very promising. And when you think about it, because you're guys the venture capitalist, right? So if you think about it, how you just, I am a startup. I built something which will revolutionize the usage of concrete, water, and on top of it, I will just have the non-emission of CO2. How you will identify me? How you will find me? What will be your process really just to identify me as a startup?
So that's well, we've been, like Ibon said, we started in 2017, right? So we've been 7 years into this. and we were one of the first construction tech investors back then. So we've obviously built a very strong network. It's close relationships to players in the industry, even that we even consider friends, right? So I think that's very important, kind of, because kind of working together in innovation, as I said, it's a very fragmented industry. So we have to be talking to other people about what is solving their pain points, and we have to look at things more holistically, not just from our perspective, but hey, if from my perspective it makes sense, does it also make sense from a contractor's perspective, right? Or kind of from a supplier distributor, everything has to make sense from it. So we have to work with the industry, not against the industry.
Okay.
Right? So the networking is very important. We obviously also need to be very close to the market, to the players. We're constantly doing different things. So for example, we are about kind of in a few weeks, we'll have in Las Vegas the final pitch day for the largest construction solar competition that we do. Kind of 9 partners together from the industry. We do that just to kind of attract ideas because it's startup, so it's already kind of built companies that come to us, and we try to kind of select the best ones, bring them in front of people, our audience, give them a lot of branding. So that's, for example, a very good source of projects and entrepreneurs. But we also have a lot of good tools kind of for market intelligence, CRMs. We follow all the news, so we capture every news that is happening related to construction tech. We capture that, and that we also follow everything, all the deals that we have a deal tracker that we try to do that all together, and we even create our own statistics in terms of deal trends, of total investment money, and so on. So and that aspect we're very good at identifying. The interesting part where it comes when how the process of investments comes into fruition, right? Because that's I always say, kind of investing in a company is like a marriage, right? So there's love at first sight, but then you need to verify that it's a real match, right? And that's the more complex part.
Okay. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but there is a lot of divorces in the world right now. So
also with companies.
And I see that Mateo, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, no, I always say we forget that innovation, it's a very human thing, right? There is, every time you change something in your life, it's not human reaction to reject it, right? So we have to, I mean, this is like marketing. Innovation is, you have to insist a lot until people realize, okay, this might be something, right? So it's very human, and that's also also with business. Business in the end is very human, right? So you have to fall in love with the ideas, with the companies, with entrepreneurs.
Okay, got it. No problem. I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, go ahead, Enrique. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to say that when you explained, you guys seems like have a very detailed process with a lot of number KPIs to follow to see, okay, this is profitable or promising. Let's go for it. You have a good network structure behind, see like a CRM to be sure that the investments can be okay, that the technology can be successful. But I ask you now for the human side you just mentioned, which is perfect also to link to my question. Is that always sometimes when you see a company or a technology and you see the numbers doesn't adapt, but I do feel my human sense says like we need to invest on them, we need to try to foster them, we need to try to give them a push, even though the numbers are telling me red. Does it happen in the industry, or you're really focusing on only for the green ones?
It's a tough question.
I want also to hear Ibon on this, but
yeah, but for both of you, of course.
Both of you.
My perspective is, I mean, we invest in early stages. So I said seed and Series A. So that's kind of, the companies are on early commercialization. So numbers tell you only half of it, right? So you have to believe in the team. It has to be I always say for me, they have to understand the industry. I don't if they come from the industry, that's better, because as I said, our industry is very complex. So you have to understand some of the nuances in our industry. So, or at least having done a very good job on researching the industry, interviewing people, so to understand the pain points and have that humble approach that I said before on understanding the processes and trying to to help people, right? Instead of imposing something, it's helping the people. Obviously, if they have like a kind of startup experience before, that's also a plus, obviously, because a lot of startups fail, unfortunately, right? So you have to, if you've lived and gone through that, that makes you very sharp. And then also kind of some experience on what you're doing. If it's something around procurement, you have to have some experience in purchasing, procurement, even SaaS. So that's something that we value, right? But it's, in the end, it's also kind of the people, right? How do they react to feedback? Is it something you want to work with? But because in the end, we work very closely with them, and we want to support them, right? So you have to have a very good relationship to them as well.
Okay, so Ibon, from your perspective, are you just also thinking that the numbers, or just you also just go between the numbers and the feeling? How is it about yourself?
Yeah, I would say both are important, and just to complement Mateo's argument, I would say that another key thing here is the technical validation that we try to push before investing in a company. For example, we have analyzed companies with good figures and good forecast, but maybe when we introduce our, for example, R&D people or more operational people, maybe they have other perspective that we haven't been able to detect before. So in that sense, we need to rely on as well on the people that at the end of the day are going to use on.
Yeah, guys, I hear you both, but for me, when I hear from you, is rather numbers than anything else, just to be honest. No, that's good. No, I hear you.
No. Kind of to say, I don't want to give the impression it's only team. No. I mean, we do a lot of work on due diligence. So we have to evaluate the team, the business model, the business plan, the go-to-market strategy is also is very key. So the marketing and sales approach is key. The product, obviously, the roadmap, where is it going? What's the vision? We go through all of that in a lot of detail. And I'm an engineer, so I focus a lot on numbers.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear that.
I would say it's early indications of success, right? Or
Right.
Scalability. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for a company that obviously kind of can show a lot of traction. It's traction. When I always say traction is a growth, for example. Have you show kind of, is this increasing or not? Kind of obviously a company that is very stable. You have to understand a little bit kind of the context of always, right? But yeah, you have to show and be able to show growth.
So you just a parenthesis on what you were saying. You said about the SaaS in construction. What are the examples what you have? It's really something which I'm really interested to. And this is not really interlinked what we were discussing before, but you mentioned it, so I need to dig a little bit deeper into it, because I'm interested about all of the transformation, and I know that the part of the cloud and everything as a service. So for me, it's everything as a service is the future for the world. But how you will just do this in the construction? What are the aspects which you're looking at? What are the examples which you can give us? If you can. Well, I think I shoot you with the question. Sorry for that.
He's thinking. I can see like working on.
No worries. We can go back to this later on. So just no worries. So just we can come back to this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I got the question completely.
Because you mentioned SaaS, you mentioned the SaaS solution, right?
Yeah.
So this is software as a service solutions in the construction industry, right? So for me, as a service overall, it's something which will be the future for the usage, right? Because you will use only the part which you need for the period of time which you need. So you will optimize the resources. So that will also just bring the CO2 emission down. That will bring the waste down, etc. Because you will be only using the part which you indicated. So you will not have any leftover on your table for the capacity from the building, etc. So I'm just thinking, if you think about the investment which you guys doing in the SaaS construction, what this can be the examples of this? I'm not sure if it's clear, but
companies, yeah. I mean, we do both software, so SaaS, one of them, and hardware investment. So we do both. On the SaaS side, for example, there is multiple examples, but we have companies in the procurement space. So it's digital procurement, so helping helping subcontractors, even kind of from the field, even identifying, hey, I need this material, and get all the approvals, for example, from the company. So that's a company called Structure. So you get all the approvals from the company, and then you connect with suppliers. So okay, this is approved. This gets to supplier. Supplier responds. So like it's done today, but digitally, right? Instead of phone calls and putting up Excel sheets with comparisons, you get all the different quotes from the different suppliers. Not a marketplace, so it's not real life prices and inventory and so on. It's kind of the way it works today, but digitally, so much more efficiently, but also being able to compare. And that's, for example, a SaaS product where, you're paying monthly or actually more annually to being able to use that. But the good thing is, this is a SaaS, so everyone can use it. So it's at an enterprise level. It's not limited on users, right? Because if you limit by users, then it doesn't get adopted by everyone in the business, or you can share it with other people, and that depends on the case. But for me, in general, it's not the right approach to limit that by user. And we have other examples. So most of the software companies, it's either transaction based or kind of a SaaS, right? And SaaS, there's other examples. We have a company called Outbuilt in our portfolio that we've been working with them for a long time. It's one of the best planning solutions that we've seen out there, and based in the US. Again, that helps kind of connecting with the schedule, contractual. You can do the plan week by week and compare that. How is the status compared to kind of the legal obligations, but also plan on the site specifically to every person on a week by week basis.
Okay. Thank you very much. You got it. You captured it. Thank you very much for sharing it.
Guys, so one last question about this startup theme before we start to close up slowly the interview. How is when you foster it, let's say that those numbers go green, and you guys also believe in the technology and you foster it and you help them to grow, how is the process of engaging collaboration with other startups or even larger companies in the construction industry? Because I think it's important so they can start to make a relation with them. So how important it is for those new companies start to be in touch, in works, in projects with larger players in the industry?
Yeah, here the important thing is to understand that we are not making this bet or investment for pure financial profitability. We are making this from a strategic perspective. So in that sense, for us, it's very important to have the buy-in of the company, but not only for our own company. We try to validate solutions or our potential bets with other key people in the industry. So in that sense, for example, before making an investment, we try to use or make a trial of the solutions with a specific business unit or operations or in a specific geography as well. And depending on the success and the feedback of the people, we, for example, make a higher bet, or for example, we don't end up investing in them, but we can end up having a more commercial partnership. For example, in a specific case of a company in our portfolio, which is a 3D printing company, which is Cobot from Denmark, we started a collaboration, a partnership for product development for their mixes. It was quite successful, and after that, we ended up making an investment. So we have different tools or vehicles to invest or to collaborate with the startups. It depends a lot on the specific needs of each company, each solution. Depending on that, we adjust our efforts and also the capital effort as well.
So guys, one question to you, which will be just, it's not what we discussed before, but I would like really to ask you, because you mentioned a couple of times the the printing, the 3D printing, and the way how this is the construction business works. Do you believe that in 40 years from now, 50 years from now, we will be able to print the Sagrada Familia, whatever we will be in the world?
Well, in the case of Sagrada Familia, maybe 40 years is not enough.
Okay,
But
that's good.
We can build in 40 years what we've been building for I don't know how long already.
That's how this fall. He makes such a specific design. It's not the fall of the technology.
But actually, I think the Sagrada Familia could be a kind of because of the complex shapes, it could be actually a good example.
Yeah, no, it's a complex already in the real, just in the traditional way. So I'm just thinking if the innovation can, because that can be a good measure still, it will be one of the good KPIs going further. You know, if we can shorten the cycle, because this is what Mateo, you mentioned, all of the supply chain, everything. If we can reduce the cycle, immediately you start reducing the number of resources which you're using, right? So this is something, you know, will be potentially the great factor. Okay, so I have the answer for Sagrada Familia, not in 40 years. I got that one. So that should be it.
yeah, maybe in the specific case of 3D printing and this construction method, this technique won't take big or significant stake compared to the traditional construction method, but it could be 5-10% of the whole construction industry could be made using 3D printing technique. And when we say 3D printing technique, it's for the pure construction of a structural element. It could be for more specific elements, facade elements. For example, not only the printing but also the finishing of the walls, painting, and other stuff that can be automated by country system machines or robotic arms. So
I got that, all of this part, you know, don't worry, I got that one, but I still keep the answer that we will not be able to get 40 years from now the Sagrada Familia as a 3D. So I hear what you're saying, that we can just go nitty-gritty and we can have the nice colors and the nice definitions, etc. Yeah, I got that. Guys, one of the key elements, I think this will be one of the last of the questions which we will try to go, because everybody is asking, are you seeing this AI, artificial intelligence, really impacting the construction? And we will be again 70 years behind everybody start implementing. Are you seeing some of the early stages to get into the AI? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as happened in other cases, construction would be the last one adopting this, but we currently have some examples and some small cases that where this artificial intelligence thing is being implemented. For example, as Mateo said before, the scheduling and project progress and control tools are the first ones that are implementing this, but also, for example, making more efficient mixes for concrete, making more efficient, making more or less consumption of materials are formulas that are being designed by artificial intelligence tools. So we are starting to adopt slightly this.
There's no conversation without popping up AI right now. But kind of just to complement that, but I think that so this is a digitization journey, right, that we're going through in construction, and the way I see this is digitization started a long time ago with core things, right, like ERPs, design tools, costing tools, and we're still in an area of data capture. In construction, right? It's very complex. It's projects. So I think that all the data that was generated in projects before was buried, right? You didn't want to go there because either there was kind of something happening there or whatever, but it got buried. So we're still kind of that's battling with data structuring and cleaning that data. And actually, there's a statistic that is very powerful. That is 90% of data in construction goes unused, right? 90%, right? We're still kind of, I think that 90% we need to structure that, clean that, and after that, AI can be applied massively. Right now, we see, I mean, I always get asked, AI in construction. I mean, I'm seeing that already, right? Obviously, because we're working with early stage companies, we're seeing that already being happening in construction. And for us, it's already normal. Like, yeah, okay, another company using AI in construction. Yeah. So it's incredible, kind of that disconnection between what we see and what's happening in kind of or the perception of the industry. And I think that especially where we're seeing is very strong use cases in targeted and confined areas. For example, if you go through documents, right, extraction of data or interacting with documents, right now is very easy. So instead of just looking for a word like, hey, I don't know, risks, and you get kind of the result is, hey, what's the risks of this contract, right? And you get answers and you can interact. So that is a very good use case. That's a company that actually participated in our construction star competition a few years ago called Document Crunch that is doing that. And there's like in planning and in a lot of different things, or for example, in procurement, even the company that I mentioned before, they're developing actually kind of a price recommendation based on what they're seeing, what the market is. So it's getting more and more. It's in more in kind of more confined areas, kind of more controlled areas. It's not kind of that massive where, hey, you're taking into account risks compared to the schedule, compared to the to suppliers and so on. That type of connection doesn't happen yet. But in those areas and very clear use cases, we're seeing a lot of adoption and usage, and kind of every day a new tool to do that. So I think as we are increasing digitization, I think it's finally kind of getting a lot of momentum. The way I see it, kind of, I've been here 7 years, and I'm seeing a lot of momentum now. I think that'll be, and AI is helping because obviously it helps kind of, even with a little bit less unstructured data, you can use it, right? So it makes a lot sometimes sense of that. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. It's a very good thing.
So from my perspective, if you wish to see the, I will just share my take on the NI and construction. I think this will take us to the completely different business models going forward, because because of the size of the construction industry, it will bring us completely different way of thinking. You mentioned this already in the way what you said. When you look at the contracts, right? When you're asking, what's the risk of the contract? But if the two parties will do the same, you will come very quickly to the common denominator, right? Saying just, you need to do this, I need to do this. This is what the history told us. Let's get together. So you will simplify all of these exchanges and the commercial fights. You will start diminishing the margin, unfortunately. So that's also the play. But you will start sharing across the whole industry all of the benefits of the gain, of the benefits of the profits. So I think the AI will be really revolutionary going forward. Again, this is as Sagrada Familia. It's not today, it's not tomorrow, but I think in the 20-30 years, the economic model will start shifting towards the more egalitarian, more distributed wealth across the industries. And I think the construction, thanks to the AI, will be really the good way to go forward.
Anyway, I think how we push things like in 30 years, right? I don't know who's going to be there in 30 years, but okay, that's a problem for another generation. Like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm there.
You are not taking responsibility here for innovation.
No, I'm there. I will be there. I want to see it, because I think it's really will be. All of our systems are depreciated right now. When we go across the world, and you can see it, unfortunately, right now across the world, all of the systems which we are working are just not really, playing well for the last couple of years. So it's something. Some new models will come in, and I think AI will help with this. Again, this is futuristic.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really.
I mean, we're still gonna need kind of. I don't know. I'm less apocalyptic in terms of the changes that we'll see. I think obviously maybe some figures will change, but kind of the essence of what we're doing won't change, right? We still need people that are developing, people that are designing, people that are doing the engineering, people that are building, right? And there was a very nice advertisement from a construction company saying, kind of in front of a building, say AI won't build this, we will, right? So and I think that's a nice kind of summary of yeah, AI is a co-pilot, right? It's not doing your job, it's just enhancing your job.
Yeah, that's clear. That's for sure. Enrique, I think we're coming back to the we just started closing slowly the interview. I think that was really very interesting, good approach, good discussions, a little bit vision, a little bit to the ground processes. Guys, any final comments from your side? Anything what you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I would say if there is earlier stage solution that is willing to or is needing any support from a big corporation, but not only entrepreneur, other companies that are interested in knowing the example of Cemex Ventures or other similar companies, we are open to have those sort of conversations and also sharing our humble knowledge and insights.
Very good. Thank you very much. It's really kind of you guys. Enrique, from your perspective, anything else which you would like to go for?
Nothing. I'm just gonna wrap up like the main words that are bumping on my head about this our conversation. We're talking about innovation, and we need to mostly focus on the green deals, reducing the carbons, the supply chain, taking care of the environment, right? So this is where the technology goes with the help of the artificial intelligence. Where we need to, where the most worries on the construction industry for development is going. So it looks very good. It looks very good to talk about that. We want to see happen, we want to see the effect, right? Otherwise, we will need to move to Mars.
I mean, you're invited to talk to our startups every kind of whatever you want, and you'll see that it's happening. It's happening now.
Okay, very good. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for the time which you spent with us. Thank you, guys, who just listened to us and just to send us the comments, send us anything what you would like to know. I think Ibon and Mateo is just there, very open to share, as they can see. You can challenge them as well with the questions if you like. So I think this was really good to have you. This is different perspective. We're looking at right now the different way of looking at the construction. I'm not saying that we failed with the 3 previous one, but I think it's not really moving fast as I want. But I think the innovation investment, I think that will be really the path to go forward.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for your presence.
Thank you for having us.
This will be to have you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon. Whatever.
Have a good day.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye-bye.